Lovers of the Harry Potter universe know there are many creepy and terrifying creatures in that world, and one of the scariest are Dementors, creatures that suck out your soul, among other things. The creature I want to talk about in this video is like a Dementor, but wrapped in more nightmares. So you may be wondering, Roris, why is this creature more terrifying than a Dementor? Well, Dementors are non-beings that can be communicated with. You can reason with them and make deals with them. Also, you can sense them, so they don't usually surprise you that much. Oh, and Dementors don't just fucking eat people. So let's talk about Lethifolds, also known as the Living Shroud, and how they're basically killing machines. They look like a black cloak and are about half an inch thick, unless they've just killed and digested a victim. Then they're a bit thicker. I mean, look at these things! The Department of the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures has no idea what its true form of locomotion is and classifies this beast as a 5X, a category for creatures known to kill wizards and that are impossible to train. As well, they consider them dark creatures because of how violent and aggressive they are, and because they have a taste for human flesh. Being black and cloak-like, this creature uses its color and shape to glide unnoticed and pretty low along the ground at night, where it is more likely to blend into the darkness. It will wait patiently for its victims to fall asleep, as it prefers sleeping victims. Never fall asleep. Though they've been known to attack targets that are awake, generally they only attack once someone is passed out. Once you're tucked into bed and fast asleep, they'll take their body and wrap it around yours, making sure to cover up all your holes so you suffocate to death. If you're awake during this, you'll feel a coldness wrapping around you as it seals itself on your breathing holes and you begin to become deprived of oxygen and die. After you're good and dead, the Living Shroud will then digest your corpse right where it killed you. Super great. After the Living Shroud is done smothering and eating you, it will then exit the house slightly fatter and thicker than when it entered. Because it killed you and ate you. You're now in its body. This creature is so good at killing and digesting that it leaves no traces of itself or its victims behind. People might just think you went missing one day and never find any evidence to what happened or where you went. That being the case, it is hard to count the true number of victims by this creature. Thankfully, they are very rare and found only in tropical climates. Why do they only live in tropical climates? Fuck if I know. Just be grateful that they do. Unless you live in a tropical climate, then I'm really sorry because they also eat muggles. Now you're probably wondering, what if I'm awake? What can I do to survive if I'm ever in this fictional world that it's borderline crazy to give advice about because you'll never be there? On the rare chance you're awake or wake up while it's attacking, you should know the only spell that can repel this creature is a Patronus. This was learned by the only known survivor of a Living Shroud attack, an unfortunate wizard who was enjoying a holiday in Papua New Guinea in 1782 and was noticed by the creature. So here's a brief account of what happened. It's fucked up.
Near 1 o'clock in the morning, as I began at last to feel drowsy, I heard a soft rustling close by. Believing it to be nothing more than the leaves of the tree outside, I turned over in bed with my back to the window, and caught sight of what appeared to be a shapeless black shadow sliding underneath my bedroom door. I lay motionless, trying sleepily to divine what was causing such a shadow in a room lit only by the moonlight. Undoubtedly, my stillness led to the Lethifold to believe that its potential victim was sleeping. To my horror, the shadow began to creep up the bed, and I felt its slight weight upon me. It resembled nothing so much as a rippling black cape, the edges fluttering slightly as it slithered up the bed towards me. Paralyzed with fear, I felt its clammy touch upon my chin before I sat bolt upright. The thing attempted to smother me, sliding inexorably up my face, over my mouth and nostrils, but still I struggled, feeling it wrapping its coldness around me all the while. Unable to cry for assistance, I groped for my wand. Now dizzy as the thing sealed itself about my face, incapable of drawing breath, I concentrated with all my might upon the stupefying charm, and then, as that failed to subdue the creature, though blasting a hole in my bedroom door, upon the impediment hex, which likewise availed me not. Still struggling madly, I rolled sideways and fell heavily to the floor, now entirely wrapped in the Lethifold. I knew I was about to lose consciousness completely as I suffocated. Desperately, I mustered up the last of my reserve of energy, pointing my wand away from myself into the deadly folds of the creature, summoning the memory of the day I had been voted president of the local Godstones Club. I performed the Patronus Charm. Almost at once I felt fresh air upon my face. I looked up to see that deathly shadow being thrown into the air upon the horns of my Patronus. It flew across the room and slithered swiftly out of sight.
Yeah, no thanks. So if this creature doesn't scare you, let me know in the comment section down below how your balls got that big.